I'll be showing you how to make the canvas part of the tapestry first. You're going to need your super bulky yarn, going to perform a slip knot, and then you're going to insert your J hook into the slip knot, and you're going to crochet 60 chains. In the second chain from your hook, you will single crochet 1 stitch, and then you will continue to single crochet all the way down the chain. You will have a total of 59 single crochet stitches. Now at the end of row 1, you're going to be changing colors, and you're also going to be changing hooks. So right now I'm going to be changing to my worsted yarn, which is my Red Heart Super Saver. And then I will change hooks to my E-hook, and I will chain 3 and turn. Now what you're going to do is you're going to skip where you would normally put your first stitch, and you're going to double crochet into the next top loops of the next stitch, and then you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to go into the next stitch and double crochet, chain 1, the next stitch. Basically what you're going to be doing is you're doubling how many stitches you have, and you'll understand why once you are a little further into this pattern. You're creating little squares, and those little squares are what we're going to work our tapestry into, or it's going to we're going to work our yarn into it. So you're going to continue doing this until the end, and once you get down there, I'll tell you what to do. So at the end of row 2, you're going to go into the top loops, perform your double crochet, and then you'll perform a chain 3 and turn. So for row 3 through 57, you're going to be performing these all the same way. You're going to skip the first stitch, and then into the top loops of each double crochet from the previous row, you'll perform a double crochet, a chain 1, and then you'll skip a stitch. And you'll do this 57 times. So as you can see, I'm skipping the middle, and I'm going into the top of the DCs. The last double crochet in this row will be performed into the chain 3 from the previous row. So you'll go in to the second chain, perform your double crochet, and then you're going to chain 3. And this is how you will work every single row from now on. So when you're at the end of row 57, you're not going to chain 3. What you're going to do is you're going to just perform your stitch, and then you're going to cut the yarn and pull it through. And then you'll just take and weave all of your ends in to the back side. So now I'm going to show you how to create the tapestry. I'm going to be using my J-hook, and I'll be using my super bulky yarn. And I'm going to insert the hook into the first square and pull up the yarn from the back. I'm pulling up a loop, and then I'm going into the next square, pulling up another loop, and then going through that loop. And then you'll keep on going. So you're performing slip stitches, grabbing the yarn from the back side and bringing it up and through the loops on the right side. So once you've reached the end of your row, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut off the yarn, and then you'll just pull the yarn through, and you're going to leave all your yarn ends until the very end or close to the end. I'll actually tell you in the pattern when to weave those in. So for the next row, you're going to go into the same squares as you did for row 1. Now this is not how the entire pattern is, so just be careful, read carefully when you're looking at stuff, because some rows are going to be doubled up and some rows are going to be single. So the doubled up rows, you're going to actually be using your J hook, and the single rows, you will use your M hook. So at the end of row 2, you will do exactly as you did with row 1. You will cut the yarn and you will pull it through. Now this is what you're going to do with all the rows, except for row 37 that has specific, there's something else that you have to do with that row, but I will tell you what to do with that row later. And you'll want to make sure that you are paying very close attention to when you'll need to switch yarns, switch your hooks. Always remember, with a double row, you're going to use a J hook. With a single row, you're going to use an M hook. Now, right now I'm using the J hook with the Louisiana, I think that's how you pronounce it, in the color linen. And then I am switching colors. It's just to give a little pattern, and you'll switch colors behind. And you just continue all the way to the end. You'll cut the yarn, pull it all the way through, and then you'll begin again with the next row. So now I'll be using my M hook and my super bulky barley yarn. I'm just going to be going into this row on the canvas one time, and then I'll be moving on to the next row. And this is what your work should look like. So now we're going to do the fringe. You're going to cut 23 12-inch strips of yarn, fold them in half, take your hook and go underneath the bar of the last row. So it'd be row 36. You're going to pull it through, and then you're going to slip the ends through, and you want to tighten it up. You can use your hook, you can use your fingers, you can use whatever you want to get this look accomplished. You're just going to continue doing it until you've done all 23, and then I will show you what to do next. So now I'm using this Uber Luxe and my M hook, and I'm going to perform slip stitches. First, I'm going to pull up a loop in the first available stitch space, and then I'm going to skip a stitch space or skip a square, so you'll have two of those bars. You're going to go into the next one, and you're just going to finish performing the slip stitch, and you're going to do this all the way down. Then you'll cut your yarn and pull it through at the very end. One thing I did do was I went back in and spread the V's. On the beginning rows, you're going to pull up your yarn, go underneath the two V's of the first stitch, and pull it through, and then you're going to go to the back side and weave it in. Now, I didn't make a video of the other side, but all you do is wrap the yarn around and weave it in. Okay, for this you'll be following the exact steps that you did for row 37, only you'll be making your yarn pieces 24 inches long, and you'll be cutting 58 of them. You're going to go all the way across. So now we're adding a stick. I went through every stitch space and wrapped the yarn around the stick and into the stitch space. You can do every other one or every third one to get whatever kind of effect you want.